Well, if she is not interested, this young lady's gonna tell you 5 signs that she is not interested. Okay? So this is what you gotta look out for. If you're out there, if you're dating, if you're talking to women and you're setting up dates, these are the signs that you have to look out for to know whether she's interested or not. I'll fact check them. I'll verify. Let's go ahead and see what she has to say.
Welcome back to my channel, guys, and today I want to talk about 5 signs that she is not really interested in you. Number 1, has this ever happened to you? You're talking to a girl, everything seems great, she's always responding to your messages. Then when you go to set up the date, she just kind of gives you wishy-washy answers. She's just really busy all the time. Maybe an example is you text her and you're like, hey, I'd love to hang out. Are you free, Tuesday or Thursday?
Oh, I have to check my schedule. Bitch, you're not that fucking busy, okay? You're not fucking Jeff Bezos. You're not Elon Musk. Don't tell me you're that busy, okay? Fellas, don't waste your time with a woman who be telling you, oh, I gotta check my schedule. Check your schedule? Bitch, what? Who the fuck do you think you are? You're not the fucking richest man or the richest woman on earth that you wake up early in the morning and you gotta fucking do shit. Go here, go there. Stop the cap. Who the fuck doesn't know? Okay, listen, we can hang out on this day. Cool. Okay, listen, I'm busy this week, but next week we can hang out on Monday. Oh, I'm busy this day or this and that, right? You guys figure out a date. Don't waste your time with this, bro. Don't waste your time chasing after a woman who is giving you these signals like, "Oh, I'm busy. I got to check my schedule." Nah.
Thursday, and she gets back to you and says, oh, I'd love to see you, but my schedule is just so busy this
What did I say?
week. What she's doing is she's still responding to your text messages, still giving you that dopamine rush, still making you feel like, oh, well, she's definitely interested in me because she's texting me back. But what's happening is she's using the busy schedule for a reason that she doesn't really want to hang out with you. Instead of saying, I have a really busy schedule this week, but I'm free next week on Tuesday.
What did I just say? I'm going to put this a little faster because, I want to get through it quickly. I got to give my thoughts on it too.
Making that, jump to help set up the date. Instead, she just uses the busy schedule, does not give you any times when she's free. But
Exactly. When a woman actually has shit going on, like, this is one thing that a woman with a boyfriend will do. And I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that you need to mess with women with boyfriends, right? What I'm saying is this is another sign you can look out for too. If a woman, says, oh, I can't this week, but next week, like she's trying to figure out a day later on in the week, it's most likely because she's already talking to some guy and she wants to fit you in on a day where, they don't see each other. This is not 100%, but this is a sign. This is something that, women do. But like she said, when a woman is truly interested in you and she's busy, she's actually busy, then she'll tell you, hey, listen, I can't, but what about this day? Or if you say, hey, let's hang out on Monday. If she says, oh, I can't, I'm busy on Monday, she's not interested. But if she says, oh, I'm busy on Monday, what about Wednesday? Does Wednesday work for you? Oh, no, Wednesday. What about Saturday? Does Saturday work for you? Right? She's giving you options. She's like trying to make an effort to make it happen. If she's not doing this, it's a red flag that she is not interested, bro. You just got to cut your losses. There's plenty of women out here. There's nothing you can do.
But then she continues to text you. These are all signs that she's not super interested in you. Maybe she likes the conversation. Maybe she likes that you guys are friends, or that she's just getting the validation of you texting her all the time. But you need to realize it comes to a point where if the girl is not interested in you, she's not gonna set up the date with you. She's not gonna ever tell you when she's free, and you need to cut your losses and move on, because if not, you're just gonna be the simp that is just texting this girl who's not interested. Number 2, maybe you get the girl out on a date, or maybe you're texting and she says something like, you're just so nice, or you just seem like such a nice guy. What she's doing is she is putting you in a category of the friend zone. She is basically,
oh, hell no. Hell no. You're such a nice guy. Bitch, who the fuck do you think I am? Listen, if a woman is putting you in the friend zone like that, it's because you're not making your intentions clear from the very beginning. From the very jump, you have to say, that you want to take her out on a date. Not, hey, let's hang out, right? There's no intention. Let's just hang out. And then the whole time you're not building any sexual tension, right? Like I just saw like a live how to keep a conversation going with a woman, and it was just a lot of questions. It's like an interview, right? I'm not gonna say who, but it's almost like an interview, bro. It's like, oh, okay, and what'd you do here? Oh, okay, and what'd you do there? Oh, okay, and what'd you do there? And what about this? And what about that? You're not creating any sort of sexual tension. So the woman is naturally going to feel like you're just a friend. Because what separates you from every other person in her life who are friends and you, the guy who is trying to clap them cheeks? I bet my neighbors, every time they hear that sound, they're like, why does that guy clap every night? Why does that guy always clap? It's so strange. I always hear clapping like at 11 at night. It's very strange. But, what separates you? What makes you different? Are you going to just ask her questions? There's nothing wrong with asking questions, guys, but you have to build some sort of sexual tension. And you're not going to do that through just interviewing her, right? Asking questions is important. That shows her that, you're someone who wants to listen to her. Women love to talk about themselves, but you also have to share some about yourself as well. So basically, let me see.
Basically saying, I am not interested in you, but she's saying it in a nice way. In my Beast Dating coaching program, we actually had a guy that was on a date with a girl, and she said this. She said, hey, you just seem like such a nice guy. And then what ended up happening is she never went on a date with him again.
And another thing is, guys, if you're trying to set up a date, right? And she tells you, oh, let's go with my friend, right? If she tells you, let's go with my friend, she's not trying to give you an opportunity to make things sexual, to make things intimate. So if I were you, unless she straight up said, hey, me and my friend are trying to suck you off, if that's the case, then go on it. Say, okay, let's do it. Both of y'all, all right, let's do it. But if she just says, if you try to set up a date, right, and she's like, can my friend come? Your friend? What exactly is your friend coming over for, baby girl? Because at the end of the day, I ain't trying to be your friend. I'm not trying to just hang out. I'm trying to clap them cheeks, okay? So, guys, once again, if she hits you with what she just said, and she hits you with my friend will come, trying to make it more of a group setting, less of an intimate, let's just say she says it's a double date, right? Okay. Personally, I'm not into that shit, but that's a little more acceptable. But if she's just bringing along a friend, she's trying to lessen the chance of anything even happening, all right?
So if you hear this is like a huge red flag. It's basically a girl saying, I'm not interested in you. Yes, girls suck. They should just be honest. They should tell the truth. But instead, they play these manipulative games like,
oh, you're so nice.
It stinks, and I get it. But you have to also see the signs. When someone's calling you nice, she's basically saying to you, this is a friendship I'm seeing develop. This is not something sexual. I don't feel polarized by you. I don't feel like I want to move this forward in a romantic way. Now, when you hear this, again, it's one of those things, cut your losses, move on. But there's also some reflection that should be done. If you're getting this a lot from girls, it's probably because you're giving off nice guy energy and putting yourself in the friend zone. There's probably nothing about you that like comes off as this like masculine man that sets boundaries, that takes the lead. You're giving it probably off this nervous.
Yeah, like if you get, you look like a fuck boy a lot, or whatever the case may be, right? It's because of the way you carry yourself. See, I've gotten this before, right? You're a fuck boy, or you're this, or you're that, right? Why is that? Because you can just tell that I get women because of how I speak. It's not like, I'm not like, oh, hey, how are you doing, Sally? Like very, very intimidated to say anything, right? When you're so scared and dancing around and trying to be this really nice people pleaser, and you're not trying to make her mad in any way, you're not comfortable enough to joke around in like a friendly way with like some banter, right? And she's naturally going to put you in the nice guy category, because nice guys, when it comes to men, when it comes to women, and I'm not talking about men in the Diddy way, okay? No freak offs going on over here. I'm talking about when a nice guy, he can't even feel like he can joke around with a stranger, right? A nice guy, what is a nice guy? A nice guy only feels like he can be comfortable with his friends, or, someone that he really knows. But you have to be ballsy, and really it's not even ballsy, to be honest, but to someone who is afraid to joke around with people like that, it would be ballsy, right? You have to drop your nuts. Gotta make sure, unzip your pants, check, and see if you got a ball sack down there. And if you do, then you gotta grab your nuts and you gotta say, listen, it's okay, I can joke around with people, I'm not so scared to make someone offended, right? It's the same thing with women. How do you get placed in the friend zone? Because you're so scared to say things. But when you're not afraid of saying jokes in a way, women are human too, bro. Women have sense of humors as well. So if you're willing to play around with her and make things a bit more playful, a bit more sexual, instead of so friendly and casual, then naturally her attraction for you is going to build. Naturally, she's going to start developing some sort of feeling for you, like, man, he's funny. Women love funny guys. I've seen some badass chicks with some ugly ass dudes because the guy was funny.
Weak energy and being way too nice and over the top, that's what the girl is seeing. So just a reminder, if this is something that's happening to you, there's 3 things that you really want to do so you do not fall into the friend zone, that you do not be called the nice guy. Number 1 is you set up the date. You are the one that takes the initiative. You don't wait and be like, how does this sound? Is this okay with you? No, like, you're like, hey, are you free Tuesday and Thursday? I know there's a really cool bar called Barcelona. They have amazing margaritas. You want to meet there at 8 p.m. That is you taking the lead. Number 2 is that once you set up the date, you show up and you immediately go in.
Break the touch barrier. This is perfect, right? When you first meet her, let's say you meet her at the store, let's say you meet her here or there, wherever you meet her, a handshake is a good way to break the touch barrier, right? It's something simple, it's something casual, it's not sexual, right? Giving a lady a handshake is not sexual. That's not the point. The point is you have now broken the touch barrier, because when you go out in public, there's this barrier in between you guys. And even when you approach her and you guys are talking, there's still this barrier. You guys have never felt each other's touch, right? You guys have never... Touching someone is almost intimate in a way, right? And obviously a handshake, I personally wouldn't really call it intimate, but it's something that it's a lot more personal, right? As opposed to impersonal, to where you guys never come in contact physically, right? But the first thing you want to do, at least, is go in for a handshake. So now, and I'm not saying her panties are going to be wet. Oh my goodness, he shook my hand. My panties are so wet. Oh, I'm dripping. Oh my goodness. No, that's not how that's going to go. Unless she has a hand fetish. There's some women out there who have hand fetishes. But, first thing is breaking the touch barrier. When you go on a date, go for a hug, right? And don't be that guy. Where my hug at? Oh, hell no, bro. Just say, hey, how you doing? Give her a hug, right? As the date progresses, you make sure you break that touch barrier, and progressively you escalate it. No, I'm not saying initially you're in the restaurant, you start grabbing her titties. No, of course not. But maybe you guys are playing around, joking. Maybe you guys are chilling, right? And she's right next to you, and you're like, hey, come over here. And you put your arm around her, right? You're talking to her. And this is a classic move. This is perfect. Why? Because when you're sitting across from a woman, there's nothing wrong with that, but you're kind of in an interviewer position, right? When you're on a date, you want a woman to sit next to you. Why? Because when she sits next to you, you can wrap your arm around her, right? You can look her in her eyes. You have less space to kiss, right? If you guys are looking at each other in the eyes and it's getting tense, there's nothing stopping you from kissing. If you're sitting across from her, then you can't really do much. I mean, you can do it afterwards, sure. It's no problem. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but that's a good move. Have the woman sit right next to you, bro, okay?
in for the hug. You break that touch barrier, you're holding that strong eye contact, and you're letting her know that you're kind of leading this interaction. Now, after the hug, you're leading her into the bar. You are not doing dinner. You are not sitting.
Yes, that is a good one. As you're walking, hold her hand. You go in front, you hold her hand. So that way, you're leading her, and also you're getting her comfortable with your physical touch. This is the point. Getting a woman comfortable, right? You hug her, okay, that's more casual. Let's say she's sitting next to you. Now you have your arm around her. That's starting to get a little more personal, right? And she's starting to feel more comfortable with you touching her, right? Eventually, maybe you put your hand on her thigh. Eventually, maybe you guys are holding hands in, not like in a holding hands way, but you guys are like touching each other's hands while you guys are on the date, right? You're getting more comfortable with the idea of where it's okay for us to be physical, right? Because the reason why you guys don't escalate, the reason why you guys don't get to the home base to smash is because the entire time you haven't broken any touch barrier. The entire time you've made it very, very business-like, right? You haven't made it comfortable to the point where it's like, yeah, we're comfortable touching each other. Yeah, we just met. It's our first date. It's our second date. It's our third date. But we're comfortable touching each other, right? I can put my arm around you. You're starting to build that. It's almost like you guys know each other. I know you, right? I know you. You know me. That's the feeling you want to create. And then eventually, going to home base is not that far away. Think about it. Not touching. Let me make sure I'm in frame. Hold on. Okay, so not touching, home base, right? This is how you guys expect to just leap over here. It's not going to happen. Okay, it might. I'm not saying it can't, but it's not going to happen most likely. But guess what? Okay, home base. Here you are. No touch. Handshake. Hug. Eventually you got your arm around her. Eventually this. Eventually, boom. You seal the deal. You know what I mean? It's a lot easier when you're over here than when you're over here. When you've already advanced it, escalated it, it's only this far away from happening. And once that's what sexual tension is, right? That's what sexual tension is. Sexual tension is through the mind. It's a mind game. It's through your words. It's through your body language. How do you look at her? What's your tone of voice? How are you touching her, right? Because if you're touching her, you're creating that sexual tension because she's starting to feel what it's like for you guys to touch, for you guys to be a little bit more intimate than she would with a friend, right? The guys in the friend zone aren't doing that. The guys in the friend zone aren't wrapping their arm around her. They're not doing this. So guess what? That's how you escalate a situation.
Crossing each other and falling into the friend zone and having these like really basic platonic conversations. No, what you're going to do is you're going to sit next to her. That way you can break the touch barrier. You can go in and lean in, touch her leg, pull back, building that sexual tension.
Bro, word for word, I'm telling you guys from experience, like this is the classic textbook tips and tricks, right? Sit right next to you, arm around her, go in for a kiss. Put your arm put your hand on her thigh. The hand on the thigh is a I can't even lie to you. The hand on the thigh is the secret sauce, right? Because, it's getting her a little more comfortable. And you're not too far from the home base, you know what I mean? And maybe she might even feel comfortable doing the same thing to you, touching your thigh. Eventually, she gets comfortable with you. You get comfortable with her, and
a lot of guys struggle with this on the date, that they do not build that sexual tension. And then what happens? You're nervous. You give off this weak energy. That nice guy conversation starts to come out, and you're automatically falling into the friend zone. And number 3 is, I don't care. You need to grow balls. You need to go in for the kiss. And I can't tell you how many guys make excuses why they should not do this, but this shows that you are interested in her, that you want to make things more sexual. Doesn't mean you have to bring her home and have sex with her that night.
You don't have to do it on the first day, right? You can. There's nothing wrong with doing it on the first day, in my opinion. There's been times when I do it on the first day and goes great. Everything goes great. I know there's guys who say, don't kiss on the first date. Don't kiss on the first date. Listen, Either one works, right? You cannot kiss on the first date, and then eventually it does happen, or you can kiss on the first day and everything can work out well. It all depends, all right? So don't let anyone tell you you can't do it on the first date. You can't do it on the first date. That is not true, okay? I'm telling you from experience, that is not true. So what she's saying though is facts, is valid. You got to go in for the kiss. You know, when you're a kid, when you're in middle school, maybe you might have experienced that, right? At one point, when I went on my very, 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 very first date as a kid, my dad had never let me date any woman. And then as a kid, I finally was able to go on a date, right? I didn't go in for the kiss. And I remember my friend telling me, my friend had told me, oh, you know, I think that they had talked on Snapchat or some shit, but he was like, oh, she said that she wanted you to go in for the kiss. And at the time, I was a kid and I was like, damn, I gotta go in for the kiss. I gotta go in for the kiss, right? And that's little kid shit. Like, as a grown man, you can't be like that, bro. You can't be a grown man and be afraid to go in for the kiss. If a woman has rejected you in the past, when you've gone in for a kiss, you can't let that stop you. Listen, I've had situations where I've been rejected in a kiss, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't let that shit stop me. I've seen guys get rejected from having a kiss from a woman and they just stop altogether. They say, you know what? I'm just not going to go in for kisses anymore. You can't let rejection stop you like that. I've had it. Listen, it's happened to me. It's happened to everyone. The winners in this world, they face more rejection than you. The reason why Steph Curry or LeBron James is up there is because they shoot more shots, they miss more, but they also make more. The reason why the best salesmen in the world, sell the most is because they talk to more people, they get rejected more than you, but they also sell more than you. So you got to understand that rejection, it can't be something that you're afraid of. It's happened to me. Going for the kiss, and she goes, she give you a little duck and dodge, she fucking dodging that shit. Hey, shit happens, bro. You just gotta pimp on past it, all right? Pimp past it, brother. Keep it pushing. It's okay. It's okay. She might not be the one. She might come back around, but it doesn't matter. You gotta drop your nuts, and you gotta go in for the kiss when the time is right, right? Don't poorly time it. Don't poorly time a kiss, right? Don't just be like at the store, your heart's beating, you're all nervous, and you're like, you try to fucking kiss her. She's gonna be like, yo, this motherfucker's trying to rape me. Nah, bro. Hey, I don't know if YouTube allows me to say that. I said grape. Okay, YouTube. I did not say anything. I'm talking about the grapes. You know the grapes that you eat? Yeah, come on now. But anyways, you got to time it correctly. You got to make sure you guys are looking at each other. There's eye contact so that she sees you. It starts to build up. Maybe you do it slowly. You slowly start to lean in, right? So that she sees it coming and she prepares.
No, but you want to make sure that you build upon that sexual tension and that spark is there. And if you don't...
The sexual tension when going in for a kiss is this. Looking at her in her eyes. As she's looking at you in your eyes and you guys are talking, you guys are both looking at each other, you look down at her lips and then you look back at her eyes. That's creating sexual tension. It's the subtle things, bro. It's the subtle things that create sexual tension. You're looking at her in her eyes. As she's talking, you look down at her lips and then you look back up. Maybe you lick your lips, right? You're creating this sexual tension. Because even though it's not verbal, you're not saying anything, you're not going in for the kiss. But in her mind, now she's thinking like, damn, why is he looking at my lips? Does he want to kiss me? Oh, is he thinking about kissing me? Is he thinking about how it would be if we make out, right? She's going to start imagining things simply by just something so subtle. Something as subtle as just the good old, looking up, looking down, looking up. Simple. Up, down, square, right, wide triangle, all that shit. You know what I mean? I'm giving you the cheat codes, brother.
don't do this and you don't end with a kiss or even try to end with a kiss, she could just be like, yeah, I don't know if I'm super interested in him. He didn't really go for a kiss. I don't know where we stand. But if you go for that kiss, at least she knows that you're interested in her. Number 3, you have plans to go on a date and last minute she changes the plan. Number 1.
Oh, hell no. Yeah, bro. That shit'll happen. That shit'll happen 100%. If a woman is not interested, she'll change the plans last minute. You just gotta cut that shit off, bro. You gotta cut that shit off. It's never gonna be. Sure, you could probably smash a chick like that, but it's not worth it, bro. It's not worth it. I'm not saying you do whatever you want with your time. If you want to chase a chick and have her keep on stalling on you and not be interested and you're trying to raise her interest, do your thing, bro. Do whatever you want. But personally, I'm not going to deal with that. If I'm trying to, set time aside to go on a date and this woman's like, oh yeah, something happened. Something happened. And you just continue going. And then what? You just waste all your time? You could be spending that time with someone who's actually interested in you.
Or number 2, she decides to bring her friend along for the date. This is just a...
What did I just say? Let me make sure I heard that right.
Changes the plan, number 1. Or number 2, she decides to bring her friend along for the date.
She decides to bring her friend along for the date. What did I say at the beginning of this video, guys? What did I say? I said if she brings her friend to a date, she's trying to make it to where you don't even have the opportunity to make things go that way, right? But if you're a smooth player, shit, you might be able to do it. That might be a mission. The fuck was that? Oh shit. Yo, I'm looking at myself in the fucking in the thing, and I was going like this, and I seen a fucking shadow behind me, and I was like, what the fuck? I thought I was seeing some shit. But anyways, if a woman brings a friend, let's just hear what she has to say.
This is just a real lack of disrespect towards you. She shows that she's not super interested if she changes the plans last minute. So maybe, you had plans to go to that Barcelona bar at 8 p.m. and then she texts you the day of and says, hey, my friends are actually going to this other bar. I think we should go there instead. So in this moment, it's really easy to just want to comply and do what the girl says because you're afraid, like, if you don't, you might not be able to go on this date. But that's just weak, simpy behavior. And then it shows that she can do whatever and you'll just comply. So what you want to do instead is text her and say, hey, nope, let's just stick to the plan. Barcelona at 8 p.m. still work for you. Because that's, a way of showing your dominance, showing that you're masculine and that you're holding the frame and that she can't just change it. And she might even give you a little bit more pushback and be like, well, I really want to see my friends. Like, and that's where you have to kind of set this hard boundary and be like, look, I'm trying to get to know you. I want to go on a date with you. I don't want to go on a date with your friends. And this is the same thing that can happen if last minute she tries to have her friend come on the date. A lot of guys in my Beast dating coaching program have had this happen where last minute the girl is like, hey, my friend's in town. Like, is it okay if she comes on the date? Absolutely not. And I have had guys that have said yes. And then it's like this really awkward dynamic between he's trying to get to know this girl, but then there's this like cock block of another girl here, and it's a really weird, uncomfortable vibe. And
we gotta streamline these
Can my
ideas.
friend come on a date? I don't know. Is she into me as well? Is she into me too?
It's like a waste of time, a waste of date. So what you want to do is, again, say the same thing. Hey, I really want to get to know you. You can meet up with your friends later. And that's setting a really hard boundary. And what I do find is that girls actually that are on the fence of being like, are they interested in you? Are they not interested in you? If you set these hard boundaries and you know what you want and what you stand for, it kind of makes a girl more attracted to you.
It raises their interest. Yeah, because women like that. Makes their pussy wet when they can respect you. When she can't respect you, she's dry as the Sahara Desert. She has no type of sexual interest in you because a woman cannot sleep with a man that she doesn't respect. If she respects you, but she doesn't like you, she could still sleep with you. If she likes you, but she doesn't respect you, she's not going to sleep with you. That's what you got to understand. She respects a man who's willing to put his foot down because he's not afraid of what she might say. He's not living in scarcity. He's not afraid of, if I set this boundary and I might upset her, I might offend her, and she might say no, so I'm just not going to say anything. No, you got to set those boundaries from the start. And she's going to be like, man, I like this guy. He just put me in my place. He told me what he believes in, even though that might risk us not talking ever again. But that's what he believes in, and I respect him.
Because she's not used to being put in her place. She's not used to being told no or that she can't do this because she's...
Exactly. She's not used to it. And that's another thing. she might not even be doing this out of disrespect. Some women are evil and some women will do it out of disrespect to try and test you and see, is this guy going to put me in my place? But some women, they're just so used to dealing with weak men that this is just normal to her. She thinks, well, this is just normal, right? But you have to be the one to set boundaries. You have to be the guy that stands out in her life. And not even for the fact that you want to be different from the rest, but because you got to stand for something, bro. You got to stand for something. You got to stand for your respect. And you got to say, listen, this is what it is and this is what it's not. And at the end of the day, you got to correct her. Let her know how it goes over here in your program, in your world.
She's used to going on dates with guys that are like, yeah, sure, I guess it's okay. I guess your friend can come along. So this is a really good way to practice holding that masculine frame. And it also, low-key, will make her a little bit more attractive.
Oh, my goodness. Even the women are saying it now. The masculine frame. I hate when guys say this shit. The masculine frame. I got my frame. Putting up the masculine frame. Oh, I got the feminine frame over here. And I got the other frame over here. Bro, just be a man. What are y'all talking about? The frames. The frame. Oh, yeah, you got to be in your masculine frame. Okay, got a nice little frame. I'm in my masculine frame. Go on a date. Oh, shit, I forgot my fucking frame at home. Fuck. Oh, fuck, I can't believe this. All I have is my feminine frame. Bro, what the fuck? I got to go back home. I got to go get my masculine frame. Come on, guys.
To you. So if you're struggling with your dating life, if you can't seem to get girls on a date, or maybe you're getting girls on the date and they're not ending the way you want them to, or maybe you're just wanting a girlfriend and that hasn't happened.
Click down on my ebook down below. Watch.
Listen up, because this is the last time I'm going to talk about this. So as you guys have heard me talk about my premium beast dating coaching program, where I've helped over thousands of guys completely transform their dating life. Well, this is a business that I've been running with David from How to Be time, because we pour our heart, going to be the last wave of men that we
these programs.
Shout out to these people.
A reminder, you'll have live coaching calls once a week with me and the other coach.
3 months, I'm going on to.
Inside this, it sends now. First link in description to apply now.
Gotta respect the hustle.
That their girl is going on dates with you, but before, she's always using you. And I see this happening with guys a lot, that their girl is going on dates with you, but it's not sexual, right? Like, you're not kissing, you've never like done anything, but she always is down to hang out. But when she's down to hang out, she's always suggesting expensive things to do. Maybe it's a really expensive restaurant, or maybe she wants to go to this bowling alley or mini golf or whatever. It's all these activities, but she knows that you're going to pay for them. Again, unfortunately, girls can suck and they can take advantage. And if you are not seeing the relationship, or it going from a platonic state to more of a sexual thing, she's just using you for these fun activities. Maybe she really does like enjoying spending time with you, but she doesn't see you as a viable option of somebody that she could potentially have a relationship with.
That's why there has to be a bit of a limit, right? There has to be a bit of a limit to how much you spend, but that doesn't mean that you can't do fun activities, right? Because I actually recommend fun activities for the very first couple of days, because you guys get to see a little bit more about yourself. You guys get to build some type of sexual tension through, you know, playing around with each other, going on some mini golf, you teaching her how to golf, whatever the case may be. But there has to be a limit to, one, how much you spend, and there has to be a limit to how many dates before you say, okay, I'm going to cut this loose. Because the reason why the spending limit is there, right, is because you don't know this woman. And you might spend a lot thinking that you're going to get something out of it, and then at the end you get nothing out of it. So you just invested all this money, and then you're never going to speak to this woman ever again. And the reason why the several dates, there should be like a rule, a general guideline to, I'm going to go on this many dates. And if I haven't seen no sort of escalation, right? I'm not saying it has to happen on the first day, but let's say your rule is 3 dates, right? Or 4 dates. First date, everything goes good, everything goes smooth, everything goes great. She shows interest, she wants to meet up again. Second date, you guys kiss on the second day, okay? Third date, it's getting a little more hot and heavy. Fourth date, you know, you might not even be there yet, but you're like almost there. Whatever the case may be, you have to see some sort of progress. And if you're not seeing that, then you just got to cut it off. Because like she said, women will use you.
relationship with. And I think this is the hardest one because I see guys going through this and they're like, yeah, but we're going on lots of dates. She thinks I'm funny. She's laughing. She's always responding to my text messages. But then when I go in for a kiss or anything more, she's very like pushed back or says she wants to wait. And you know, the thing I always tell guys is like, you have to look at it from your perspective too. Like, yes, like it's amazing that you're paying for all these dates and you're having a fun time with her, but what are you getting from this? Like, yeah, you're getting companionship, but if there's no sexual tension and you're not getting any of those benefits, personally, you're just hanging out as friends. And if that's what you want, fine. But if you want more, you're just wasting your time, money, and resources on this girl that it's not going anywhere. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some girls out there that want to wait or are like, hey, I want to be in a relationship before I move this sexual. But then you have to have that conversation, because if you do not have that conversation and you're just assuming that, but she's not actually like that, that's an issue. Because there are girls that do this, but then will go on a date with another guy and sleep with him that night. And it's like, well, what the heck? It's because you're not having these open conversations. It's because you're allowing her to walk all over you and give her free dinners. Dating, you got to protect yourself. You always have to be a little skeptical of girls and what their mission or their plan is. And if you're not sure, you need to ask. You have to have that open conversation, and you can't be afraid of what you're going to find out, because if you are, you're going to stay for all the wrong reasons.
You got to ask. You say, are you using me for dates? And she's going to tell you, yeah, I am. That's not how that's going to happen, brother, okay?
Number 5, I think this is the most common one I hear from guys.
Oh, the good old get to know you first. I want to get to know you first. Oh, yeah? You want to get to know me? You can get to know me with my yamin in your mouth.
Is when they're texting a girl and they go to set up the date and she says, I just want to get to know you better on here first. This, I feel like, is a dagger to the heart, right? Because you're like, I'm doing everything right. You're on this dating app, or, you know, I got your number from the gym, and then all of a sudden you just want to get to know me better. So the biggest thing here is setting a boundary and saying something like, that's what the date is for, silly, or we'll do that on the date, making it known like you're not going to sit here and be this girl's pen pal. But a lot of times, guys.
Yeah, you could set up a quick FaceTime call. FaceTime is great. FaceTime is great if, you know, you want to set something up before the date. That's like the date before the date, right? You don't give her too much, but you give her just enough so that you guys can kind of see how you guys are going to interact on the date, right? You're going to show her like, listen, this is going to be fun, right? You don't have to FaceTime before, but FaceTime is good. You guys hop on FaceTime, you guys start building some chemistry, and you can actually advance the date forward by a FaceTime call. A couple good FaceTime calls, and then you go on a date, you guys already feel like you know each other. So it's a lot quicker than if you didn't.
Make this mistake and say, sure, like I can hop on a FaceTime, I can hop on a phone call, or no, I'll just keep texting you. And what happens? Months go by, they're wasting all this time and energy. Maybe they're even developing feelings.
Months is crazy. Y'all are going to stay with a woman for months, giving away your time, energy, and attention when she's not giving you anything in return, not even a date? That's crazy. I could never. A couple days, maybe a week. And if I'm not seeing nothing, kick rocks, bitch.
For this girl, and they're texting, but you never ask her back out again, and you fall into this friend zone, you fall into this pen pal mode, and she loves it because she's getting all this validation, and maybe secretly you like it because you're getting that validation, but it's never going to amount to anything. She's probably going on dates with all these other guys, but you're just the guy she gets to talk to about her feelings or about how her day is, because she knows you're going to listen, but she knows that you're not going to push it any forward. And the problem is if you fall into this trap and then try to get out, it's really hard. It's like falling into a hole and trying to crawl your way out of a really deep hole. It's really impossible, but you need to make sure you don't fall into the hole the first time, and you know, because girls will just take advantage of that. So again, making sure you set a boundary up front, saying that text message, that's what the date is for, and if she doesn't respect it, well then you need to move on and tell her, hey, yeah, I'm not looking for a pen pal, I'm not looking for somebody to text, I'm not a big texter. Because I know a lot of guys this happens to, and they hate texting, but they're just falling into this trap of feeling like they need to text the girl all the time. Thanks for watching, guys. I will talk to you.
All right, guys, that was Lana Rhoades talking about 5 signs she's not interested. I'm just fucking around. Who is this chick? JX Dating? JX Dating. That was JX Dating. 5 signs that she's not interested. Paired with Mr. Optimal Man. Let's go ahead. Drop a like. Drop a comment. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. Give me a subscribe. Peace out, guys. Love y'all.